good morning, students. Due to network problem at 11. Okay, so let's start our today's class. The name of the chapter is extrema of function of several variables. Extrema. Okay, extrema means actually you have to find the maximum and minimum. So I already told you the maxima, how to find the maxima or minima for any function. Okay, for any function of single variable. Now I am considering the maxima or how to find the maxima and minima for a variable which contains two variables. Okay. What is the rule? So suppose any function is given of two variables. Suppose this is f of x, comma 1. This is given the function of two variable x and y. So first thing you have to consider that whenever we are considering a single variable, what we do? We first consider the first order derivative, then make this dy dx is equals to 0. Same thing for this, but since it contains two variables, so we have to consider the partial derivative. So the first partial derivative will be with respect to x and second partial derivative will be with respect to y, obviously. So you have to consider this first partial derivative is equals to 0 and this, sorry, this is xy is equals to 0. Same concept for first single variable, you have to consider the first order derivative is equals to 0. For function of two variable also, you have to consider the first order partial derivatives and make them is equals to 0. Then obviously you will get some values of x and y. Okay. So next thing you have to consider that you have to just find the value of hxy. What is your hxy? This is actually known as Hessian matrix. Okay, what is the value? Value is your fxx fyy minus fxy whole square. Means the second, you have to find the second order derivative. Then you have to put all these values fxx fyy minus fxy whole square. You have to find this value of this Hessian matrix. Okay, or h of x1. Okay, this is the next step. Third step is you have to consider in a single variable also we have to check if it is greater than 0 then minimum value, if it is less than 0 then maximum value. Here also suppose for any point this h of AB is greater than 0. First write down these points. First point is you have to first consider the first order partial derivative equals to 0. Then you will get some points, means some values of x and y. Then you have to find this h of xy that is known as Hessian matrix. And the value of this matrix is fxx fyy minus fxy whole square. After that, I will tell you the condition. Okay, so I am erasing this portion. So now conditions. Condition number 1, if h of AB is equal to, sorry, it is greater than 0. What is AB? AB actually any value of x and y. Any value means in the first step we are considering first order partial derivative fx and fy is equals to 0. From this we will get some values of x and y. Suppose these values of x, y is a and b. Okay. So at that point you have to consider that what is the value of the Hessian matrix, whether it is greater than 0, whether it is less than 0, or whether it is equal to 0. So suppose at that point a comma b, this h of ab is greater than 0, then is f of x y is minimum if minimum at a comma b if x at a comma b is greater than 0, if y of a comma b is greater than 0. Okay, so first condition is suppose your h a comma b is greater than 0, then this function f of xy is minimum if fxx is greater than 0, if yy is greater than 0 at the point a, and if x comma y is maximum at a comma b if x at a comma b less than 0, if y by a comma b less than. Okay, so this is the first condition. Suppose this Hessian matrix is greater than 0, then you either there will be a minimum or value of f of xy or maximum value of f of xy. Then you have to check whether this f of x and if y at a comma b are greater than 0 or less than 0. If it is greater than 0, then f of xy is minimum at ab. If it is less than 0, then f of xy is maximum at ab. Okay, this is the first condition. Next condition is, first write down this condition. Okay, so I am erasing this. Now next condition is if h of ab is less than 0, then this ab is called the saddle point. Okay, sometimes in your MCQ also they give you one problem of two variable and they told you show the whether 2 comma 3 is a saddle point or not. Then what you have to do? You have to check at that point 2 comma 3 h of ab is less than 0 or not. If it is less than 0, then it is obviously a saddle point, and if it is not less than 0, then it is not a saddle point. If a comma b is a saddle point. So you have to remember these conditions, that if it is h of ab is greater than 0, then either you have a maximum or you have minimum, and if h of ab less than 0, then at the point a comma b the point a comma b is a saddle point of f of x1. Last condition is if h of ab is equals to 0, then no conclusion can be drawn. No conclusion can be drawn. Okay. Just a formula you have to remember that I'm just repeating this total process. Just consider any one of the book and just take only one or two examples from this. So this is very easy thing. I am not considering any examples since you have only MCQ type of question. So if you just consider any example from book, you can easily understand how to find this. So I'm just repeating this process. Suppose any function is given. I am just writing one function. Suppose x is q plus y2 plus 3xy. This one function is given and they ask you find whether it has maximum or minimum or anything. So first thing you have to do is first find the partial derivative with respect to x. To find the partial derivative with respect to x, you have to treat this y related terms, y related terms as a constant. Means this is a constant. This 3y will be constant. Only the variable is x. Okay. X is cube plus this is totally constant plus 3y is constant into derivative of x. Okay. Next, you have to consider the fy first order partial derivative with respect to what? Y. So in that you have to consider the x related term totally constant. Means x is cube is constant. 3x will be treated as constant. 3 is all every time 3 is a constant, but when you are considering the partial derivative with respect to y, you have to treat this x as a constant. Okay, so 3x totally will be a constant. So you have to only consider the derivative of y. Okay, so first f of x will be 3x square plus this will be 0 plus 3y. Okay, and fy will be your 3y square plus this is 3x. Okay, from this you have to find the value. That means you have to consider the fx is equal to 0 and fy is equal to 0. From these two equations, you will get some values. X is equal to a, y is equal to b. And you have to check whether at this point a comma b it has maximum value or minimum value or it is saddle point or not. Okay. For this, you have to first consider the age of xy. Age of xy is fxx, fy. You have to consider all the derivatives. Okay. First, just consider the fxx means you have to consider the derivative with respect derivative of f of x, fx with respect to x. Then you will get fxx. Similarly, you have to consider the derivative of fy with respect to y. This will be your f y1. And if xy, this is your fx. Just consider the derivative of fx with respect to y. This will be your fxy. Okay. So just put these values in age of xy. Then you will get one function of x. In that function, you have to put the values a and b. Means this a and b. If it is greater than 0, then it has zero, then you have to write no conclusion can be drawn. Okay. Uh, okay, so any conclusion? One more thing, same I told you in the maximum minimum chapter of for single variable also sometimes a constant or constraint function is given. Extra one condition is given like find the minimum value of x square plus y square plus z square subject to the constraint x, y, z is equal to c q. This is actually given. So these are mainly marks will be, I think, 5 marks. Okay, that's why I'm not considering this. So in examination, if you get simple type of problem, this type of problem, okay, one function is given and one relation is given. Just find the value of z from this. So z will be your c cube by xy, c cube by xy, and put this value in that z2. Okay, so c cube by xy whole square. So the total function will be converted in function of two variables. Okay, then you can apply the last formula. Okay. So mainly simple type of problems will be given to in your examination. Simple type of function will be given, and they can ask you whether it is saddle point or not, or whether it is a maximum or not. This type of problem. Just consider one or two examples. Okay. So anyone have any question?
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am.
হ্যালো ম্যাম, শুনতে পাচ্ছেন? হ্যালো।
Excuse me, ma'am.
ম্যাম আপনার মিউট হয়ে আছে ম্যাম, আপনার ইয়েটা কেটে দিয়ে আপনি আনমিউট করেন। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ।
Okay, I just repeat the chapter. So first concept for this chapter is gradient of a scalar function. First thing you have to remember that you have to find the gradient of a scalar function. Okay, since you have MCQ type of exam, they can ask you you have to find gradient for a scalar function or vector function or anything. So we are considering the gradient of a scalar function. So this type of function is given to you f of x, y, z, like suppose x is cube plus y cube plus z cube or x is square plus y square plus z. This type of function will be given to you and you have to find the gradient of that function. This is the mainly notation. Sometimes they can ask you ask the question in word like find the gradient of the scalar function f. Some function will be given. Okay, sometimes they directly ask you if f of x, y, z is equal to some function, then find this. Okay, so this is mainly the notation of gradient. Okay, now what is the formula? Formula for gradient is del f del x I cap plus del f del y j cap plus del f del z k cap. So okay, I'm only considering one example. Suppose f of x, y, z is given x is cube plus y square plus z. This type of function will be given to you x is cube plus y square plus z. Okay, so obviously what is your del f del x? First order partial derivative with respect to x. So I already told you whenever you are considering partial derivative with respect to x, then this is only variable. This total term will be denoted treated as a constant. So del f del x will be your 3x square. Okay, del f del y will be this x related term and this z related term will be treated as a constant. So only you have to consider the derivative of y square. So 2y. Okay, del f del y is equal to 2y and similarly del f del z will be these two term will be treated as a constant. So only derivative of z means 1. Okay, so you already get the values of del f del x, del f del y, del f del z. So just put this in this place. Del f del x means 3x square, del f del y means 2y and del f del z means 1. This will be your answer. Okay, so these are very simple thing. You have to remember the formula. If nabla f, this notation is called nabla. Nabla f means gradient of f. So the formula is del f del x into I cap plus del f del y into j cap plus del f del z into k cap. Simply one function will be given to you. You have to first consider the first order derivative with respect to x, first order derivative with respect to y, first order derivative with respect to z. Then just put in that formula and this will be your answer. Okay. Next is divergent. Divergent of a vector. divergent of a vector. So obviously your divergent, last I'm considering the gradient, so we are computing the gradient of a scalar function. Now for divergent, we are considering the divergent of a vector. Okay, so some vector will be given. Suppose A is any vector. Suppose A is any vector, this is given to you and you have to find the divergence. So what is the notation? Notation is your, tell me,
Nabla dot A.
repeat your question.
No, ma'am, I was telling that the notation is Nabla dot A vector.
Oh, yes, it is nabla dot A. Okay, so last time the gradient is nabla A. Here the divergent of a vector is nabla dot A. Okay, so same thing. Sometimes they can ask you in words that find the divergent of a vector. Some vector will be given to you and find the divergent of a vector. Sometimes they directly give you the notation. And this is the dot product. Actually, you have to consider the dot product. So, what is the direct formula? Sorry. Del A1 by del X plus del A2 by del Y plus del A3 by del Z. Okay, so actually what is your A1, A2, A3? Since A is a vector, so obviously any vector can be represented in the form some component of A into I plus some component into J plus some component into K. Okay, so the these component you have to consider the first order partial derivative of this component. Then second order first order partial derivative with respect to y for this second component and first order partial derivative with respect to z for this third component. Okay, so directly put this and you will get the value of the divergence. So suppose I am considering any one of the vector 3xi cap plus 2yj cap plus 5k cap. Suppose this is any vector given to you. So obviously this is a1, this is a2, and this is a3. So first this you have to consider the first order derivative with respect to a. Okay. Okay, so obviously, if you consider the first order derivative with respect to x, you will get only 3. This is your next a2. You have to consider the first order derivative with respect to y. Okay, so obviously the derivative of 2y will be 2. And last is a3 with respect to z. A3 is 5. So this is a constant term. So 0 is 5. Okay, clear? So this is mainly your divergence. So you can easily see in the gradient once scalar function is given and the result is in the vector form. Okay, since ijk is the result in vector form. Okay, but in divergent you are considering first you are considering a vector in the form of this I, J, K. Okay. After finding the result, you can get you are getting one scalar number. Okay. So in divergent, your input actually is a vector and output is a scalar. You have to remember this. In gradient, you are considering scalar function, you are getting one vector function. In divergent, you are considering one vector and you are getting one scalar. Okay. Next is curl of a vector. So for curl of a vector, again for curl, you are considering one vector. So for curl, this nabla cross means A is suppose a vector, so you have to consider the nabla crossing. Last in the last divergent, we are considering the dot product, and in that you are considering the cross product. So you already know how to find the cross product of any vector, that is I, J, K. Okay, nabla means you have to write this del del x, del del y, del del z. Then the components of A means first component is A1, second component is A2, third component is A3. Just put all these values, then you already know how to just expand this determinant. After expanding, you will easily get the. So here also you can see that we are considering the curl of a vector, and since the result also contain this ijk term, so again you will get a vector. Okay, so curl in curl you are considering one vector and result is again a vector. So these small things you have to remember. Okay, so if I am considering one example. Okay, I'm just considering one simple example. So again, x square I cap plus y square j cap plus z k cap. Suppose this vector A is given in that form. X square I cap, y square j cap, z square z k cap. Okay, so this is obviously your A1. So in place of this, you have to put this x square. Okay, this is your A2 y square, so you have to put y square here, and here you have to put z. Z means sorry, A3 means z. Okay. Now if you are expanding this, so first I can in this into this means corresponding minus. So del z del y del z del y minus del y square del z. Okay, this is the first term. Next is minus j into again minus del z del x minus del x square del x square del z. Okay, third term will be k cap minus del y square del x minus del x minus del x square del y. Okay, so next you have to consider the derivative. Since it is in z and you are considering the derivative with respect to y, and I already told you whenever you are considering any derivative with respect to y, then other variables will be treated as a constant. So this term is 0. Again, same for this also, this is 0. This with respect to x and term is in z. Again 0, fourth is 0, fifth is also 0, sixth is also 0. So answer will be 0. Okay. For this problem, the answer is 0. For another problem, you can get some function. Suppose this is your zy square. Okay. Zy square, then obviously y square will be treated as a constant, and you have to consider the derivative of z. So answer will be y square. Okay. So So in different types of problem, you will get different values. Okay, so these are the main concept. Next is solenoidal vector. One vector will be given to you and they will ask you whether any this vector is solenoidal or not. So what is the condition? So you just learn what is the divergence of a vector. So if the divergence of a vector is equal to 0, then it is a solenoidal vector. Means the condition is divergence means lambda dot A. So if this is equals to 0, then it is this vector is solenoidal. If it is not 0, then it is not a solenoidal vector. Next is irrotational vector. Okay, so solenoidal and this is the condition of irrotational vector. Next, next one more thing, suppose any constant function is given. Suppose any constant function is given, f, x, y, z. Any constant function is given. Constant means you already know. Suppose this is given. Okay. So, what is the value of the gradient of f? What is the value of the gradient of f? So, gradient of f mainly denoted by this nabla f. So this is you already know del f del x I cap plus del f del y j cap plus del f del z k cap. Okay, so since this is a constant term, so if you are considering first order derivative, it is 0. So the for if f is a constant function, then its gradient is always 0. Okay. Okay, next is your Next is your directional derivative. So directional derivative means you have to, one particular direction is given to you. Okay, so in that direction you have to find the derivative of any function. I repeat, any direction is given to you, and in this direction you have to find the derivative. So what is actually the formula? Formula is, suppose any direction is given, PQ. PQ is any direction given. So in that direction, first thing you have to consider is you have to find the unit vector in this direction. You already know how to find the unit vector in the chapter of vector. You already know how to find the unit vector. Okay. So suppose this unit vector is your dr dx. Suppose this unit vector is dr dx, and you have to consider the derivative of this function. So the directional derivative is gradient of f dot dr dx. Means you have to find the gradient of a vector, and you have to just consider the dot product in the direction of in the given direction. You have to consider the unit vector in that given direction, and you have to consider the dot product. Okay, so there are some examples are given. Okay, if you have book, you can check the examples. So I am just telling you one example question of directional derivative. Find the directional derivative of the surface x square plus 2y square plus 3xz is equals to 6. X square plus 2y square plus 3xz is equals to 6. So students, students, you can borrow a book from library. So two books are means two type of books are available. One is Rashpal and one is for Shastra publication. You can take any book, or you can buy this book. So just take one book and consider this definitions, simple properties, 2-3 number marks of small problems. Okay, so I just repeat the question. Find the directional derivative of the surface x square plus 2y square plus 3xz is equals to 6 at the point 1 comma 1 comma 1 in the direction of the vector 2I plus ej. So this direction is given to you. Okay, at this point they want the directional derivative of this function. So this is actually your f, this is actually your direction, and this is one point. Okay, so first thing what you have to do, you already know the formula. First you have to find the gradient of f. So for gradient of f, you already know del f del x plus del f del I cap plus del f del y j cap plus del f del z k cap. From this you have to find this. Okay. Next is one point is given, so you have to find this at 1 comma 1 comma 1. If this point is given, then you have to find this gradient of f at this point, at this the value of gradient of f at that point. If this is not given to you, just put this gradient of f like some term into I cap, some term into j cap plus some term into k. Okay. So since here some value is given, so you have to find the gradient of f at that point 1 comma 1 comma 1. Okay. Next, direction is given, and I already told you you have to find a unit vector in that direction. So how you can find the unit vector of any direction? So this vector by these 2 square plus 3 square. This is actually the unit vector in the direction of 2y plus 3z. Okay, so you next the thing you are getting some answer here, and you have to just consider the dot product of these two terms, and you will get the directional table. Clear to all of you? Just consider one problem from your book. Yeah, these are very easy. Okay, first you have to find the gradient of f. If any point is given, then you have to find the value of gradient of f at that point. If no point is given, just take as it is. And next you have to find the unit vector. What is the process? The vector by square of the square root of the square of the its coefficients. Okay, first 2 square plus 3 square its square. Okay, so this is the process to find the directional derivative. Okay, next is
Ma'am, can you repeat the name of the book?
tell me.
Can you repeat the name of the book, ma'am?
Okay, after the end of my class, I will show you the book.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so last two things from this chapter is how to find the tangent plane and how to find the normal. So you already know what is the tangent. So the plane consisting all tangents is called the tangent plane. So how to find the equation of this tangent plane? So suppose any again any function or surface is given x, y, z is equals to 0, and at the point alpha, beta, gamma, you have to consider the tangent plane. Okay, so what is the equation of the tangent? I repeat, one surface will be given. Surface means any function will be given of x, y, z. Okay, then they can ask you find the tangent plane at the point 1, 1, 1 or 1, 2, 3, any Okay, so suppose one surface is given f of x, y, z is equals to 0, and you have to find the tangent plane at alpha, beta, gamma. Then the equation of alpha, beta, gamma is del f del x at the point alpha, beta, gamma into x minus alpha plus del f del y at the point alpha, beta, gamma into y minus beta plus del f del z z minus gamma at the del f del z at the point alpha, beta, gamma into z minus gamma is equals to 0. You have to only just remember the formula. Suppose alpha, beta, gamma is given 1 1 1. So in this formula you have to put this one, this is 1, and this is 1. Suppose f of x, y, z is given x square plus y square plus z square. This is suppose given to you. So del f del x means 2x only. So 2x at alpha, beta, gamma means 2x at 1 1 1. So 2 into 1, this is only 2. Again, del f del y at alpha, beta, gamma. Del f del y means 2y at the point 1 1 1. So the value of y is 1. Again, you get this is 2. Okay. Third is again del f del z at alpha, beta, gamma. Again 2z. So 2 into z minus 1. So this is the equation of the tangent. Very easy thing. Just you have to remember the formula. Clear? Next is what is the equation of to find the normal? Same type of equation. So as you already know, tangents are normal or perpendicular to each other. That's why the equation of the normal is at the same point alpha, beta, gamma for the same function f of x, y, z is x minus alpha by del f del x at the point alpha, beta, gamma plus y minus beta by del f del y at the point alpha, beta, gamma, and this is not plus, this is actually your equals to sign, and z minus gamma by del f del z at the point alpha, beta, gamma. Okay, so this is the equation of the normal. X minus alpha at the point x minus alpha by del f del x at the point alpha, beta, gamma, y minus beta by del f del y at the point alpha, beta, gamma, z minus gamma z minus gamma at the point alpha, beta, z minus gamma by del f del z at the point alpha, beta, gamma. So again, if you consider same function f and same point 1 1 1, same type of function will be you will get x minus 1 by 2. I just told you that this value is 2. X minus 1 by 2. This is y minus 1 by 2, z minus 1 by 2. Okay, so this will be the equation of the normal. Okay, so the equation of the normal, if I put these values, if I consider this equation, then you will get the equation of the normal. X minus 1 by 2 is equals to y minus 1 by 2 is equals to z minus 1 by 2. 2. Okay, from this, sometimes in exam, this type of equation will be given. Sometimes you have to consider any two of them. Okay, just cross multiply this, so you will get 2x minus 1 is equal to 2y minus 1. So 2 obviously cancel. X minus 1 is equal to y minus 1. So you can write x is equal to y. This is one equation. Next, take any other two. You can take first and third one, or you can take second and third one. So y minus 1 by 2 is equal to z minus 1 by 2. So again from this, if you cross multiply and simplify, then you will get y is equal to z. Sometimes this type of equation also be provided in your exam. Okay, so and this is the main equation of norm. Okay, so any question in this chapter?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Tell me what is your problem?
Ma'am, in Hessian matrix, no, in the first May. Ma'am, we wrote the formula f of xx into f of yy is equals to minus of fxy. Ma'am, what is f of xy? Fxy square. That what is the last term, ma'am? Ma'am, like f double of x is like double derivative, double partial derivative of x, no, ma'am?
This is your formula fxx, fyy, fxy whole square. So if I consider one problem, so suppose x square plus f is given, suppose x square plus 2xy plus y square. Okay, so first partial derivative is your fx. Fx means you have to consider the derivative with respect to x. So first this is your 2x. Second is y is your constant now. So 2y is actually constant. So 2y into derivative of x means 1. So this is 2y. Okay, and this is again the term is equals to 0. So if x means again you have to consider the derivative of fx with respect to x. So again 2x means derivative of 2x is 2, and this is again constant since you are considering with respect to derivative with respect to x. Done. Next is fyy. So first you have to find the fy. What is fy? This is 0. Derivative of x square is 0. Here 2x is treated as a constant. So 2x plus this y square will be 2y. Okay. So next is fyy means you have to consider the derivative of fy with respect to y. So fy with respect to y means this is again a constant, so this is 0 plus 2y derivative of 2y means only 2. Clear? Next, what is fxy? Fxy means you have to consider the first, you have to consider the derivative of fx with respect to y. Fx with respect to y, so fxy is actually you have to consider the derivative of fx with respect to y. So since you are considering with respect to y, this term is constant, so derivative will be 0. This term is for if you consider the derivative, and that is 2. Now it is clear?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Can you explain again that fxy?
Fxy means you have to consider the first order derivative of f of x with respect to y. Fxy means you have to consider the first order derivative of y with first order derivative of f of x with respect to y. So what is your f of x? F of x is 2x plus y, 2y. So you have to consider the derivative of this f of x with respect to y. So since you are considering the derivative with respect to y, so x is now your one constant term. So x related term, this is your totally x related term and constant term. So this will be treated as constant. Since you are considering the derivative with respect to y. So this is 0. Okay. Plus this is 2y. So y related term, this is constant into y related term. So if you consider the derivative, so obviously you will get 2. So answer is 2. Clear? So in Hessian matrix, you have to put all these values here, and at the point AB, if h of AB is greater than 0, then some conditions are already provided to you. So you have to check this. Okay. Okay. So these are the 2 books. First book is your Engineering Mathematics Volume 1, B.K. Pal and K. Das. Of first year for CSC students also, for other
Ma'am,
departments also,
excuse
this book contain all the total overall syllabus. Okay.
Excuse me,
So
ma'am.
tell me.
Ma'am, your voice cracked, ma'am. We did not hear what you said.
Okay, just see that book. Engineering Mathematics Volume 1, B.K. Pal and Das. Okay, clear? This is one book, Engineering Mathematics Volume 1, B.K. Pal and K. Das. Okay, so this is one book and this is another book. This is Engineering Mathematics for Chhatra publication, semester 1, and this is Core and Jana. Okay, Core and Jana, and in this book you will see that all stream except CSC and IT. Okay, so this is for your syllabus. Clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so these books are available in, I think, Amazon, I just checked, and these books are also available in the library also. Okay, just check. This is green in color, so this is for section B. If you get orange, then it is for CSC. Same structure, but this color is different. Okay. So for civil, mechanical, and electrical, this is green, and for other, this will be orange. Okay. Okay. So any more question?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm giving you one assignment yesterday on year T. So just try to solve this question before 3rd March. Okay, since on 3rd March we have to put your next CA4 marks. That's why I am giving these assignments to you. So just try to solve this assignment, try to solve these problems. Actually, I am giving some MCQ type of question. So try to solve this problem and submit. I already mentioned you have to submit in one particular mail ID. I already provide one mail ID in your corresponding question. Just submit your copy in that mail ID. Okay.
Ma'am, we have to solve, and ma'am, we have to means click the photo of the solving part as well.
Yes. Just make one PDF and send it in the mail ID.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so I am ending this session. Thank you, students.
Thank you, ma'am.